This video is sponsored by Craft Insure. Good morning everyone, welcome back on the boat. It's actually been a full week since I've last even stepped foot on here. I don't know if you can remember, but me and Danny filmed 2 videos in 1 week so that we could get a week ahead, so that we could work real work and get some money saved up ready for the electrical system. So back on board now. The floor's had a second coat in the meantime. I popped over on an evening and got that done. So today's first job is going to be putting some protective film down over this, shifting all the stuff back up this end and then sanding back down. It's just me today. Danny's picking up a few extra shifts at work, like I said, just to try and save up for this electrical system, for the inverter and solar charge controller, etc, etc. Wanted to say thank you as well, because this is actually our 50th episode, not of the boat build, but in general it's our 50th upload, which is quite a massive milestone. It's crazy to think we've been actually doing this nearly a year now. And it's come on really far, so thank you to everyone that's watched, supported, commented, bought a t-shirt. Yeah, it really helps us. So first off, obviously a cup of tea, and then yeah, try and get this stuff to work. This stuff never sticks as well as I think it will, but it's down. Sort of protecting the floor. Now for the big move. I don't know how many times we've had to move stuff back and forwards, but it's just part of it. So I've just put the video together and noticed that this scene has the audio missing, so if you could just assume that I'm saying something intelligent, that'd be much appreciated. So, whilst the dust settles, I thought it'd be a good time to introduce our new sponsor, Craft Insure. Now I know what you're thinking, but when your home happens to be floating and you're only a dodgy stern gland away from sinking, insurance is quite important. Come on, I've got you! I actually contacted Rob and the team to congratulate them on how easy their quote system is online. After trying to get about 2 or 3 quotes from different websites, this was genuinely a blessing. I explained about the build and how I'd love to share my revelation with our community here on YouTube. Much to my surprise, every member of the team is involved one way or another in boating. Now I don't know about you, but that gives me a lot more confidence in shoring my future home with them. Even if you're not due to renew yet, just go and try their website out for yourself. It's so easy. They insure all sorts of watercraft, including yachts. Maybe one day. And they even cover paddle boards, which Danny's still learning to use. Being the largest insurer of narrowboats in the UK, the chances are you're already insured with them. Let us know if you are in the comments, or if you've had luck with a quote, let us know as well. Now back to the build. Whew. So that's me done for today. I'll be back in a couple of days' time with Danny, and then we can crack on second coat with that, let that dry, and then hopefully a bit more progress in the engine bay if the weather allows. I need to replace a couple of bits like glow plugs. I need to remove the injectors. We're going to fit some refurbished ones of those. Yeah, so we'll see in a couple of days. Good morning, we're back on the boat. Danny is with me today, which is great. You've been at work a lot, haven't you?
I've been working a lot. I haven't actually stepped foot on this boat now for probably like 2 weeks. Not much has changed, to be honest, but I'm gonna do the final coat on this bit, and then we can put the green sheet all over the rest of it. I think you're gonna do some bits in the engine bay, aren't you?
Yeah, can have a look. It's cropped up a few more times. I'm sure we've answered this before, but the gaps in between our floorboards, they are obviously square edge, so they're not tongue and groove. We're going to sort of use it as a bit of a feature and have some Hessian rope in between them, somehow sealed. That'll allow the boards to still like expand and contract throughout the seasons, and also should look quite nice. If you've got any better ideas, let us know. I think that's what we're going to roll with. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, we'll figure something else out. But they have shrunk a little bit more than we were expecting.
In an ideal world, we could put them closer together, but we're in too deep now.
And it does leave me a nice gap to get some rope in between. I'll probably seal it with like PVA, I'm not sure. Need to do some experimenting, but that'll be a bit later on in the project anyway. So yeah, apart from that, Danny's going to do the second coat like she said, and I'm going to mess about with a little support floor for the batteries in the engine bay. So
just finished the coat on the second coat on the last bit, so we're going to wait for that to dry, and hopefully tomorrow we can put the protective layer on. Whilst I was doing that, Rob came to visit, and he's the guy that bought Mabel from us. He lives quite local, so it was quite nice to see him, and yeah, he likes the boat, doesn't he? I didn't go see Mabel because I feel like I'm too attached still. I'd be very emotional.
Next on the list, I need to cut a bit of plywood, which is going to then sit on top of the swim. I think it's called the swim, so that our batteries can sit nice. And Uncle Dave said don't put batteries straight onto steel because it kills them quickly, which is good tip. So we're going to put a bit of plywood down on top of this bit, mount that somehow, and then cut that and hopefully stain that now. We're going to have 6 130 amp hour batteries, which we've already bought. We'll introduce them at a later date, but just going to get this all prepped ready so that we can start fitting it out, can't we? Ooh. Exciting stuff.
I really hope that that feels really close. I really hope that like soon it will just come together, like sort of like hitting heads together. It just feels like it's taken forever now. Like don't see progress, but it's nice and like encouraging from you guys, and also like when friends and family come and visit, they look really shocked at how much we've done. It just, yeah, it's like a balance, isn't it? Still with us working and paying for it, and also being over here and having the time. Our plan is to be on it for Christmas, so I don't know if that's ambitious or not. Driver, how thick's your ply?
18mm. I'm like the opposite of hangry now.
Did you eat too much? I told you, you don't let yourself get full, you just carry on eating. Don't you? Is that right? There's Uncle David there.
Where?
Over here. There's Uncle Dave. Hello! Uncle Dave. You still don't know we're on YouTube. It's quite amusing. Are you alright?
Yeah.
Sorry we lost you yesterday. It was just one thing after another. Once Rob came, Joe was going to make the box. We didn't have the guard thing on it to make it cut straight, is that right?
Yeah, the guide on saw.
The guide on saw, and we just both weren't feeling it. And we really want to enjoy this build, like as much as we want it done as soon as possible. We don't want to just do it when we're like not feeling it, 'cause it's just, yeah, just not in it.
Yeah, I was feeling a bit grumpy yesterday, and one thing after another, like Danny said. So sometimes it's just best to go home. I had a nap.
day.
I had a little sulk, had a coffee. Fresh day now, and this is all dried.
And you've forgotten.
Look at that.
Huh?
What are you doing?
I don't know what these are called. Oh! No!
Nearly ran out of this stuff. I meant to bring a roll back from work, but I forgot, so I don't think that is going to be enough to do that.
Great one.
I think we do by the door here first, because that's where the kitchen's going.
Can I do it?
It's hard, it doesn't stick that well still.
Is it because it's dusty?
No, it's just because it's not that shiny a surface, so.
You're doing it the wrong side.
No, this is
Oh, look.
something like that. Lovely. If we just leave the camera like that, it looks like we've done the whole floor.
This is my lovely new floor.
I'll bring that over next week. Whoops. What's next? Move the kitchen again. Come on, mate, we haven't just got over it.
Yeah, I know, but like, you've forgotten the thing that we need to do the first thing. The 100th time now, we are going to be moving the kitchen back into the bedroom, just because. I don't know why we're even moving it, but we are. Now I've done a fabulous job of tidying the place, Joe would like me to film in.
Making a mess. So what I was trying to do yesterday is basically cut a piece of plywood that the batteries are all going to sit on to keep them off the steel. Uncle Dave recommended, obviously, if a battery sat on a cold surface like concrete or steel, whatever, then they actually don't last as long. So using a bit of 18mm ply, then we're going to paint it and basically just going to raise it up above the swim, I think that part of the boat's called. And then we'll have our electrical cabinet here.
It's just because it's underwater as well, like it is naturally cold.
Yeah, so every little helps really in that sense. What are we doing?
Do you know what size you need it to be?
Measure once, cut twice.
760.
What's next, Captain?
Sand it, paint it or something, but I don't know if we've got a primer here that will work. So obviously we want to paint it the same colour as the engine bay in that grey, but that won't necessarily stick that well to bare wood, so or will it?
Not sure.
So I'm going to give this a light sand and then figure out how I'm going to support it. I'll show you what I mean in a minute, but it's just basically going to sit up slightly raised to clear the skin tanks inlet and outlet.
What's the vision?
This is going to sort of become almost like a shelf,
Okay.
because that is pretty much exact size for our batteries. I'm going to raise it up with a batten to support it there, and then a batten screwed through that wall there, because obviously if it's screwed down, that's the
You're not going to have some wood at the back as well?
What do you mean?
Just so it's not...
Oh, what? Against that you can't screw into there though. I guess you could, as long as a piece of 25-50 batten on its end is there, then it's got 3 points to fix in. So let's cut a bit of batten to length. Should be 5.20. Before I do that, because our boat come with a calorifier for heat and water, it used the skin tanks. So there's these couple, one on each, that I've got to blank off now, which can then be used as like breather taps or whatever. And one of these, bit of PTFE. Around the thread. So it's going to get tightened on. Can't remember what way you want to do it with thread. So it tightens in. It's not very good, this PTFE is a bit old. Right, that's that. That should still.
What's the tape for?
It like seals the thread, because not all threads are necessarily watertight or gas tight. And then that'd be obviously our highest point that we need to contend with. A pipe's got to go on there.
Look like you know what you're doing.
I ain't got a big enough spanner there. Oh well, got a 20mm pocket. Not too tight, but like that.
How do you know what size they are?
I had to do a bit of research. It helps me work in a builder's merchant because I just took one of the pipes that we had in and fitted it.
Pick up CRS.
It's like adult Lego plumbing, isn't it? Right. Lovely.
Nice work.
Now, I was cutting some batten, wasn't I?
You make that look so easy.
You're with me?
What's the plan, Stan?
Batten up there.
I can't really see.
Something like that.
I can't see.
Yeah, there.
Yeah.
Something like that. And then this
Batten
should
there and then batten up there, and then that should theoretically
keep
balance.
it. Yeah, I might put one in the middle for good measure. Let's just see if it can get away with coming down off that step. But I don't really think it.
How are you going to hold that in?
This is getting screwed to the plywood.
Okay.
Are you with me still?
Yeah.
It's going to have to be a bit. I'll tell you what I will use instead of batten.
What's that?
3x2 CLS, because that'll give us 63mm.
What's wrong with the batten?
Because there's that little ledge. That's only on the end of the fuel tank, so I need to be. Also, I don't want it. If we're doing one along the back, don't want it to
Why
be.
don't you hold it up the other way?
This, like that. It's not enough.
No, the other way.
Like that.
Yeah.
That's what I was doing.
Oh.
But then you need a higher batten at the back because this is already 10mm.
Why don't you put it below that bit?
Because you can, because of the hose.
Why can't you?
Because the hose has got to come on here. And it's rocking. No, it's rocking there. So a bit straight to CLS. I need a piece.
Have you got any here?
Don't think we have. Alright, check the right. Actually used any CLS on the boat yet, have I? So we've just been making a little list of things we need to buy just to finish things off. It's a bit catch-22, isn't it? Like we said before, we got to finish these bits of ply off. We can't do that until the doors are here, really. So which means we can't do a tongue and groove. What are we gonna do?
You want us to take the injectors out?
So for now, I'm going to take the injectors out. I'm going to send them to a company which then give you a replacement set which have been refurbished. It's only 120 or 130 pounds, and I think it'd be well worth it. I'm then going to do a video on entirely on just changing a few bits up on here, giving it a bit of love, really. But that will be a separate episode. So for now, yeah, just going to take them out.
These?
Take these out, yeah. That's what injects diesel into the engine.
What's the point of doing this?
Well, injectors get, especially when they're running on like red diesel and God knows what else. It's just good practice, really. The engine should run a bit better. Let's just see how easy they come out. Otherwise, I might take it all back and say, no, they're fine. They work lovely. Sometimes they get a bit stuck. Just going to see if it moves at all before I take out that. Oh yeah, they come out lovely. Right, that's that.
Is it going to get oil everywhere?
Diesel might do. Hopefully not, but. So if I ain't got to prime the diesel system when I come to refit them. I can't ever remember if you need to or not, but. Oh. Feeling that when I do that one, it's gonna let a bit of diesel out.
On a bucket?
I don't think it'd be quite that bad. Hopefully not. If it's that bad, then we've got a problem.
Will you be in my team for the Mongol Rally?
Yeah.
You look like you know what you're doing. You do know what you're doing a little bit with this.
A little bit. Yeah,
So
see?
what are they going to come like?
Look at that.
What's wrong with it?
So that injects a tiny bit of diesel at a time down into your cylinder. Ooh, a little bit of diesel coming out. Definitely worth getting refurbished ones. On Mabel, our Sprinter,
Wait. Yeah.
On Mabel, our old Sprinter, we had to put 4 new ones in, and refurbished ones in a Mercedes Sprinter are 1,200 quid for 4. So 130 quid for 4 of these is just, well, it's a no-brainer, really. So that's all 4 injectors removed. Just put some blue roll in there to stop any dust getting in. You can see the state of them now. Even the copper washers have seen better days. Well worth replacing in my eyes. So I'm going to get these sent off, and we'll see you next week. Say bye. Ready? Right. Morning.
Morning.
Wait, I don't like it.
What do you reckon?
A bit much. Full. Ran out of motivation now.
I told you shouldn't have ate that cake and crisps.
I've always been a bit grumpy as well. Just sometimes it doesn't work out. You miss a. I've always been a bit grumpy as well. Couldn't find, like Danny said, couldn't find a guardrail for the saw. And then one thing, when you're over here, it's such a drive to go and pick something up. So yeah, I still don't really make sense, do I? Yeah, I was been a bit grumpy yesterday. We couldn't find the saw guide, so I couldn't cut straight.
I've already